they are.
Sorry for our lack of pace last week, but
somebody was a little unwell.
That would be me. So yeah, we didn't actually. We just went out and had a really fun holiday and just didn't bother. No, I was really ill. But we're back to talk about lovely, positive things from the headlines today.
Yeah.
But it felt like some stuff that we kind of needed to.
Wanted to respond to it because we think A, some of it's ridiculous, and B, some of it is very important to be discussed.
Yes, without stigma or judgment or etc.
Some of it's very poorly written and not doing mental health any favours at all.
Yes. To start with, this is like really recent. I was watching the Victoria Derbyshire show this morning and they had like a update after it saying that this 19-year-old guy has pleaded guilty to the Russell Square stabbings on the grounds of diminished responsibility. And the diminished responsibility thing is basically that he was undergoing an acute episode of paranoid schizophrenia at the time of the attacks. And that seems to be the most focus of the actual...
The fact that he was suffering with this.
And it always seems to be that way, doesn't it? Do you not find that?
I do.
That you hear about something that's happened, it's like, oh, well, they did have a history of mental illness, they did have this, and they were suffering from this. And it's like, that seems to be the big kind of point of the
focus,
story.
Which it shouldn't be. Okay, obviously it will need to be included, but it doesn't need to be kept being emphasised and touched upon.
And the thing is, if 1 in 4 people suffer from a mental illness at some point in their lives, then a massive percentage of criminals are going to have had
a mental health problem of some kind at some point or another.
Exactly. I think when they use the term a history of mental illness, that annoys me more.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, most people do have some sort of history with...
And in a news report such as this, a history of... They could be referring to something that happened when they were a teenager and now they're committing a crime as an adult. That doesn't mean they're struggling or suffering anymore. They're just adding in the history of just for the point of making a point of it.
Do you think that's what it is as well? It's just like a scare thing?
Yeah. And it just makes things so much worse.
Yes. I think it really adds to the like... And I was tweeting about it, it's like it perpetuates the stigma that people who have mental illnesses are dangerous or they should be kind of, you should stay away from them, and it makes people not want to come out and say, do you know what, I'm actually suffering.
Because they're scared of people going, oh God, well, you're going to end up killing someone or
get away from me.
Crime. Yeah. When actually it's so common, as you said, 1 in 4. Well, you walk around with 1 in 4 people most days of your life.
I mean, in this, it's slightly different because it is like the reason that his sentence has been kind of changed is because he's
suffering.
Yeah, and he said that it's on grounds of diminished responsibility. So with this report, it is kind of more important that we do hear about the fact that the reason what's happened is because of that. On the news, it was so focused around the fact that he had schizophrenia. It didn't no explanation of what that was or the
so then other people that may be suffering with schizophrenia now suddenly all become like this guy because the news have focused on it so much. It's like that isn't the case at all.
No, it's really sad because there will be people out there that are suffering from paranoid schizophrenia that will be
tarnished.
Yeah, and they'll be worried about talking about it now because it's like, oh well, do you know about that guy that went on that rampage? Well, he had that as well. And it's kind of, I don't know, I just feel so sad. You
can't put everyone in the same group, No.
You
just can't do it. Everyone suffers in a different way. Everyone's experience of their mental health is different than someone else that may experience the same condition. Because it's the same condition, no same person has it the same.
Yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree more. Very well said.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is also the fact that there is a stat that there has been an increase of 50% in unexpected deaths due to mental illness or around mental health.
Yeah.
So people that have a formal diagnosis having unexpected
Yeah, we're putting unexpected in these.
deaths. It's like, why don't they just say, I know, right, their definition of unexpected deaths is suicide, neglect or misadventure. I don't know how many are going to be down to neglect and misadventure.
No.
And if they are, is it really, is that really that relevant? Shouldn't it just be...
Well, no, because if they're being neglected or there's misadventure, it wouldn't actually be that unexpected because there is a reason, therefore that makes it not expected,
If
it makes it expected.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
If you're being neglected, or it's not okay, obviously, but you expect things like that to happen because there is neglect or there is misadventure. So there would be an expectation, this person has died, or that is the reason. That makes it expected, not unexpected. They're trying to say, what they're saying basically, in fact what they're trying not to say is suicide.
Yes. Suicide seems to be not an okay word to use. And I just don't know why they don't just say suicide and, mental health, like suicide and risky behaviours or accidental deaths or whatever. Yeah. It just feels like a really weird way of putting it. If there's anyone out there that actually works on who did this or who came up with how they say it, why?
Why is it
why?
Yeah.
Why unexpected?
We would like to understand because we just find it a bit odd.
We do. But the face of talking about these statistics at the moment is Leo Jacobs, so this guy who was 39, suffering from schizophrenia, and he had died from an accidental overdose, they think. I mean, how can you possibly, I suppose you can't possibly know unless you are the person.
Unless they could actually ask Leo whether he had intended to commit suicide or it was accidental. They can't possibly assume either way. Just because his family or whoever's saying it was accidental wouldn't expect this to be something that Leo would do, that doesn't mean he wasn't intending to do it.
And that's the thing, I think what they're doing by saying that as well, by speculating that it was probably an accidental death, it's making more of a stigma of suicide because it's not wanting to, it's protecting the family and protecting his memory. But actually, it's not, I don't know, it shouldn't be looked at like that, I don't think.
People look at suicide all wrong, I think.
Hence why, committing suicide has always been the thing, because it was always,
it was always a crime, which is utterly ridiculous.
And now it's kind of one of those things that people don't, the media don't want to report it as being, they committed suicide or whatever, or death by suicide because of their protecting the family. But there shouldn't be this massive stigma where they need protecting from it.
No, it should be spoken about. It's such an awful, sad thing, not something that people should be punished for, or it shouldn't be hidden from people because it is what it is, and it's so sad, and it is something that needs to be spoken about because it's so important. It shouldn't be hidden.
No.
A local man who went missing and then had been found after he had committed suicide, and even we've seen reports this week of 7 other people just on one single stretch of train line that have done it, and that's just in our little area, so that's 8 people that we have heard of.
Just in our little sleepy Devon area.
So if you just think how big a problem this is, why shouldn't it be spoken about?
It was a guy on the Victoria Derbyshire show this morning that said it's 6,000 deaths a year are suicide, basically. So every time the Victoria Derbyshire show is on, somebody else at least has committed suicide, and that just really
it's a shockingly high figure,
massively high.
So why, suicide is one of the leading causes of deaths, especially in men. So why aren't we talking about it? It doesn't make sense.
And possibly that is why, is because we're not talking about it. It's not okay to talk about.
people, men, women, don't feel like they can say, I'm feeling suicidal, because it's something that doesn't get discussed. It's something that never gets mentioned. It's something that always gets shunned away. It's never, that's why they died. So, well, I think it's ridiculous.
I think people also think if they come forward and say, you know, I've been having suicidal thoughts, which are very different to being suicidal. Having suicidal thoughts is something that most people have fairly, you know, regularly in their lives at one point or another. But even feeling suicidal, you know, you should be able to come forward and say that. I think some people think they're going to be taken away or sectioned or for saying that, and actually
that's not how
the
it works.
case. No, it takes a lot to get sectioned, doesn't it? It's not like a quick thing.
If that is in your head and you are feeling like that, it's something you need to speak about before it does escalate into something where something tragic actually does happen.
Which is just an awful thing, and suicide is just the worst, isn't it? It's the worst.
It's so sad.
Sorry it's not more positive today, but these are the issues. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching to the end. Stop it! Okay.
Sorry, that was really funny. Okay. Thanks very much for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for coming back.
Yeah. Hope to see you again soon.
Hope to see you again soon. And subscribe. Please subscribe.
Share.
Share.
Any comment?
Please do comment. We would love to respond to comments, and if we get enough like interesting comments, we will do like a comments
video.
To comments. Yes. Yeah. So please do that. We would love that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.